In this video, I'm going to share with you how to create tension in your sermon introduction that will captivate your audience that I learned after preaching over 2,000 sermons. Ed Young, pastor at Fellowship Church in Dallas, Texas, did this beautifully a couple of weeks ago in his sermon. Check it out.
I know this makes some of you really nervous. You're like, Ed, my pastor in church with a beer. I understand that. I respect that. Still, others of you are saying, man, Ed, why don't you drink the beer? Your sermon will be much better. I understand that as well. I want to ask this question, can I drink this?
A lot of pastors just want to jump into the solution. Here's what the Bible says. This is what you should do. That's good and that's true, but people are not engaged because they don't feel the need for the solution. Pastors who captivate their audiences begin with the problem between what is and what should be. They make people think, hey, that's me. Their audience connects with attention. Tension grabs attention like a stretched rubber band that needs released. People don't engage unless they feel the pressure, unless they feel the pull. We see this in movies all the time. Take a look at this clip right here. Here's a hand reaching for a doorknob. And when we see this scene, it makes us ask some questions. There's tension that's happening. Whose hand is that? Who is behind the door? What is behind the door? Why do they want to open the door? Tension is something we experience not only in movies, but in everyday life. It's something that everyone can relate to. Looking at your delivery notifications to find out where your package is. It should have arrived 2 hours ago. Waiting on the reply text from that person you got into an argument with last night. Your child's tantrum on the floor because they didn't get their way. Trying to pay bills when there isn't enough money. Tension is common. Tension is the internal unrest we want resolved. And by creating tension in your sermon introduction, you capture your audience. Creating tension helps your audience to begin to see a need that they didn't know they had. Like my cell phone. There's times that I'll get on my cell phone, I'll make phone calls, I'll play games, I'll send text messages, I'll surf the web. Then all of a sudden, frantically, I'm looking around trying to find my charger because I got the red notice of death. We don't charge our cell phones when it's at 100%. And sometimes we forget and we don't realize that we need to charge our phones until we get notified by that red notice of death. Creating tension is how your audience is notified that they need to be recharged. There are several ways that you can create tension in your sermon introduction. And I want to go over 2 ways that have been effective for me. The first way is sharing a story. Stories are disarming. Stories allow people to see themselves in the situation. Talk about a struggle, describe a season of doubt, explain an unfulfilled longing. Remember a couple of years ago, I gave an illustration, a story about when I was looking for a job. I lost my job and I was looking for a job, and I explained how I couldn't really find a job that would fit my family needs. And I remember being asked to come in for an interview to this one job. It was a perfect job. I closed by making this comment. I remember sitting in my car after the job interview wondering if I was good enough. That created tension. I went on to talk about purpose, our purpose. Another way that you can create tension in your sermon introduction is ask a thought-provoking question. Ask questions that are open-ended, not a yes or no. Make it about them, not you. I remember one time asking this question: what if I told you that most people miss God's voice, not because He's silent, but because they are too distracted to hear? Boy, that hit home. There's several ways to create tension in a sermon introduction, but your sermon introduction is where you present a problem without giving away the solution. Your job isn't to fix the tension, but to lead people through it until they see Jesus is the answer. And that all starts with creating tension in your sermon introduction. I hope this video helped you sharpen your preaching skills and think a little deeper about how you can create tension in your sermon introduction. If this video added value to your ministry, do me a favor, please. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below about how you create tension in your sermon introduction. If there is a topic you would like for me to cover in a future video, please let me know in the comments below. If you want more preaching tips, check this video out right here, where I describe a 4-step method to writing sermons.